What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today I want to talk to you about Faraday Future, ticker's FFIE. I want to give you a good overview of some of the data points, technicals that you need to know leading into next week, and give you a little bit more of a price prediction, where I see things going. Before I get into any of that though, make sure to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with that said, let's get right to it. So based on Friday, it did go down 2.78%. So there has been a very extreme sell-off. And of course, that was largely prompted because of the whole S3, which the S3 can be seen as good and bad depending on your investing style, because of course if you are a long-term investor in Faraday, then that is going to be a good sign because a lot of that money is going to be put towards operations and stuff like that. Whereas if you are a short-term trader, then unfortunately that S3 kind of killed you a little bit. But of course, I'm not a financial advisor. You guys always do your own due diligence. So leading into next week though, I do feel that there is a lot of good momentum to be had, largely because of some economic data coming out, one of which is on Thursday, so GDP, second of which is on Friday, and that is PCE. So if positive, which based on the forecasts, it looks like they're going to be, then this is where Faraday can definitely go up fairly well. At the time of doing this video, there hasn't been really any new press releases, no SEC filings, nothing that I haven't really covered in a previous video. And as well, at the same time, there really isn't planned or anything planned for this upcoming week. So it is just merely going to be following these data points, technicals and stuff and so forth. So of course, when it comes down to the data points and the technicals, it actually did land on a very big support on Friday. So around 22.5 cents, which coincidentally it landed exactly like I said on that on Friday. So that is the pivot. So 22.5 cents to around 27.5 cents is most likely some points that you really need to watch for the next big support and resistance, going into next week. And based on after hours, it does look like it went up around 1.81%. So of course, like I've said on previous videos, even though this whole run up was very sexy, a lot of good things happening, it did cause the technicals to get a little bit more overbought, which technically does cause it to consolidate and reset, which coincidentally, this is exactly what has happened. So this is why I feel even though it has gone down quite a lot, the technicals held up. So going into next week, I do see, oddly, even though a lot of EVs are just getting completely murdered and massacred out in the market right now, surprisingly, I do feel that Faraday might actually go up pretty significantly in comparison to a lot of other EVs. And that is largely because of what they're actually doing behind the scenes, their technicals and stuff like that. And like I said, a lot of people are very much hating on Faraday because of this whole S3 that recently came out. But like I mentioned, it can be perceived as both a positive and a negative. So it depends on your investing style. As far as operations, or as far as options, going into next week, there was a little bit more of an orientation towards puts. So based on Friday, there was around $75,000 worth of puts being purchased versus around $10,000 in calls. So once again, I think behind the scenes, people are anticipating it to continue to go down, but options doesn't necessarily move the stock price. It is just more of a sentiment. And as far as this though, you can see, like I said on previous videos though, this was going to come very frequently over the next couple days, as a lot of ETFs and institutions that hold, for instance, Faraday in their positions and portfolios are going to be rebalancing because it is very close to the end of Q2. And as they do, they have to rebalance and so forth. So these are all the transactions that did occur. And there was as you can tell, a little bit more of a sell. So $10 million sell. And this is all the bid prices, the ask, and versus the prices it was sold. So this is how you can tell this 10 million was a sell. And as of right now, the time of doing this video, there's currently 23 ETFs that do hold Faraday, which is up from 21 the previous quarter. So of course, as Faraday has gone down so cheap, I think to around 14-15 cents, it did get and catch the eye of a lot of ETFs and institutions. So I do anticipate a lot more of that coming in the following quarters, and possibly as well them to maybe increase their position as well. So that's just my own interpretation, of course, what might be coming. That won't obviously happen this week per se, but like I mentioned, technicals are holding up fairly well. So around the 22 to 27 cent range is what you need to watch for, and above the 27.5 cents is around 30.5, and then 35. And once it does get past there, then big things might be coming. But like I said in the past, there is a lot of individuals that do anticipate and clearly are betting against Faraday going down. And as you can see right here, I'll give you guys a quick overview, for instance, of what shorts are doing. So right now, short score is currently 80, utilization is around 95.98%. What they did for on Friday, they increased 8.4 million shares. 22.02% of the free float is being shorted, so that's pretty significant. And that works out to be 262.78 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average is around 17.62%. So like I said, behind the scenes, you are going to have these individuals that clearly are very much betting that Faraday is going to go down, because as much as I like to be optimistic, for instance, on Faraday, and I feel that operationally they're doing a lot of good things, they're getting financing, which of course I think is one of their only aspects that they were kind of missing out on. But like I said, going back over here, if it does break this 22-cent range, then it could potentially go down to around 17 cents. So that's something you just need to factor in. Faraday, until they do obtain profitability and actually start to have deliveries, so meaning their phase 2, which I do believe they pushed to August. But until that time, you are going to have a lot, and underline a lot, but a lot of volatility, and you just have to be comfortable with that. So until then, you just have to be and practice patience. So it goes back down to the point that I did mention, it all depends on your investing style. So always do your own due diligence no matter what. So let me know you guys' thoughts. Do you think Faraday is going to be going up, down, sideways? Where do you see things going? Personally, I don't see it surpassing 30 cents this week, but I do feel it's going to be trading between this R1 and the R2 by the end of the week, so by Friday. So let me know you guys' thoughts on all of that in the comments below. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. Don't forget to take advantage of some free promos, and that is with Moomoo. Link in the description below and also the comments. Sign up for a free account, you get one free stock. Each stock is valued up to $2,000, so just in among itself is a crazy deal. But better yet, as you can see, throw $100 at the account and you get 5 free stocks plus a $100 cash reward, which is one of the best deals that you can ever get. This is only up until June the 30th. Link in the description below and also the comments. And without further ado, I appreciate you guys watching. Let's all make a lot of money on Faraday.